All right, YouTube, it's time for occult literature video number 29, the Nonfiction Bible, which is something that I wrote. Now, this is more satirical than it is strictly an occult text, but the blasphemy aspect, it really fits in with some occult schools, as far as opposing Abrahamism anyways. And you can look at it as a divine or religious text anyway. I mean, the Bible's changed so much over the centuries. There's so many different versions. People's interpretation of each version is so totally different. Who cares? I'll just label it as a spiritual text that fits in within the occult. Use it for your occult practice if you want to. I wrote this, I believe, 2 years ago as well. Link in the description to where you can purchase this work off Amazon. I am the author. Technically the editor, of course God's the author because it's the one true Bible. Second link to my books blog where you can buy many other works as well that I've edited within the occult, works that I've authored on political topics as well. The Nonfiction Bible was mostly my idea of a joke, but not a joke as in just, oh, I'll throw some slapstick humor together at the at the expense of Christians. I wanted it to be a little bit longer than that. So, of course, it talks a bit about Islam, it talks about Judaism, talks about Mormonism, the Jehovah's Witnesses. Of course, Jesus in this story enters the Jehovah's Witness protection program at one point, then becomes a hippie in 60s Haight-Ashbury. But the concept of debasing the divine, I think, is at play here. This may seem like a foreign concept to people who are raised up in religious paths where you have to remain absolutely pure to your calling. Like, you can't do this ever, no circumstances, it never happens. There are more, I think, appropriate spiritual paths that realize human fallibility and allow adherents or even encourage adherents to occasionally break their own vows and things of that nature. I think that that's a good thing. I think that that helps spiritual development because otherwise you're entering into a compulsion of obeisance without even having really the emotional ability to go back on what you're actually doing, the spiritual path that you've chosen. But 99% of it is still just pure satire. There's a little cautionary tale at the end of the work. But if you want to know the one true story of God and Jesus and all of these other religious figures, there is no other Bible that's actually accurate. Of course, we know this because the book says so. It's quite clearly listed there right at the beginning of the book. It's true because it says so, and you can't question it, or you go to hellfire forever. Why would you want to risk that? If you don't want to suffer eternally, all you have to do is read the book and say, okay, Jesus, you're my savior, and stuff like that. What do you have to lose? So pony up the few dollars that this book costs. At least it's more entertaining than all other versions of the Bible put together. A little bit less violent than most versions of the Bible. A little bit less filled with rape and slavery than certainly any of the other versions of the Bible or most other spiritual texts that have ever been penned, but a good time nonetheless. I think this is something that many of my subscribers would actually very much enjoy reading. I did try to make it as humorous as possible. If you like the sort of weird one-liners I crack on this channel, you're going to enjoy this because that's basically all of its content. I won't reveal too much about its actual, what's actually written there. Just trust me, if you're not so much into the morbid stuff, but you find the occasional political and blasphemous humor funny, you'll like this work. And it fits, generally, I guess, within the occult, if only for the blasphemy impact. So again, link in the description to where you can purchase this work off of Amazon. Of course, self-published it there. I was going to talk to Prometheus Press or something, but I didn't know if they were into this length and this style of satirical work. I thought maybe, but I'll go it alone. We'll see where this goes. Not bad, I guess, as far as sales go, so there's that, of course. And then a second link to my books blog. That's about all. Peace out.